It's Sunday morning. It's 10 to 9. I'm in my car. I'm just about to catch a train to London to take in the Beano exhibition at Somerset House and Dredd at 45. So join me on this journey, dear viewer. Let's go, because we're going to miss our train. Alright, let's go.
Doncaster, Rough and Calm. This train is full of...
This is interesting. This is ComicHaus, Me and the Minx. This is from 2020, from September 2020. Paper size is A3. If you look, where's the lettering going? Lettering's added afterwards, as is the header, as is the mast. There's the pages. I believe this would fit sort of there, but all this has been moved up slightly. So you can imagine that bit added onto that bit would give you enough to put that bit on. It's very close. See the pen marks and everything. Some smudges and some weird lines. Let's take a look at this same panel down here. Smudges are gone and that line's still there, but it's very hard to see. It's brilliant. Brilliant stuff. Okay, we've just come out of Somerset House. Spent a couple of hours walking around looking at the exhibits. It's all really good. Next up, we're going to try and find the cartoon museum for the Dredd 45, and we'll swing into Gosh Comics on the way. Right, let's go. on, try and embarrass me. So we're at the Cartoon Museum. It's a small place, mainly political cartoons, but here is Dredd 45. Let's have a look at the exhibition, shall we? That was great, wasn't it? Well, it's Monday morning. I got back from London late last night. Too late to record this section, so I'm recording it now. It's given me a chance to sort of cogitate on the day. A strange day. The Beano exhibition, I think, was really good. I really had a good time there. I was there for 2 hours, going through sort of room after room, and it was very much like a maze. You go into a room, there's a little offshoot on the side, you go through there's 3 or 4 rooms, and it's all themed about something tangentially related to the Beano. And you come back into the main room, you move a bit more, and then you find some displays here and there. Interesting stuff. It was eye-opening to see original Beano artwork. Also, when you compare it to modern artwork, so there's some Laura Howell's Me and the Minx there, and what was striking was how small the page was compared to some of the work from, say, 40 years ago. Even though Laura Howell's work is still big, it's A3 sheets. It's on A3 sheet of paper. But yeah, I really like the way she draws Me and the Minx. I think this looks great. What was strange was there was lots of really interesting sort of exhibits of 80 odd years of Beano stuff, and then they felt compelled to put some fine art pieces in there as well, because I suspect they figured it was too lowbrow. So, there's this, as you're going through, there's a video installation, a Gilbert and George video installation. And then, there'd be some sculptures, and it'd all be tangentially related. Beano Town, in the Beano, they like the food, they like the sausage and the mash, So here's some sculptures that someone's done of food, I guarantee you the kids aren't flocking around those bits. They're looking at the fun stuff that's going on either side. But I suppose it helps mix it up, and I suppose it helps make for an interesting experience. An adult ticket costs £16. I'm not sure how much a family ticket costs, but I think it was less than £30. In fact, give me a second, I'll just have a look, because there's a computer right behind this screen. So a full price ticket cost me £16. A family ticket, which is 2 hours till children, was £40. That's actually a really good deal. When you sort of divide up between 4, it's £10 each basically. And if you've got kids, I would say probably 8 to 12, then they're gonna have a good time. You know, especially if they read the Beano or the Phoenix or something like this. So, well, especially the Beano, obviously, you know. But there's a lot of fun to be had there, and it's interesting, and you know, it's a good day out. I mean, I could have spent another. I reckon I could have spent another half hour. I reckon you could happily lose 2.5 hours in your day just going around that exhibition. Unfortunately, it's only on for about the 6th of March, so you've got to get your skates on. In fact, by the time this video's out, it's probably going to be finished and closed, and that's a shame. But let's contrast that with the Judge Dredd one, which museum, on the other hand, was a big disappointment. Now, some of that's my fault. When I booked the tickets to the Dredd exhibition, I just booked them. I didn't read the description. If I'd read the description and they said we have 8 prints, or we have 8 pieces of artwork on the wall, and that's our exhibition, I think I would have thought twice about that. It's just the fact I was already in London for the Beano exhibition. But if you're going to have an exhibition of Judge Dredd stuff celebrating 45 years, I think you want more representative work than just 8 pieces cribbed at random. Okay, yeah, there's some Carlos Escovedo work there, there's some Brian Bond work in there, and it looks wonderful. And it all looks great to see close up and personal. But nothing else. There was no, like, pages of like reproduction pages of like 2000 AD, early 2000 AD. When it was, I think it was called Star Lord, wasn't it, at one point? There was no artwork. There was no even like examinations of Dredd as a character. Nothing. 8 pieces of artwork and a video. But the museum has got some other problems that it needs to address pretty quickly, in my view. When I turned up there was no Wi-Fi and there was no internet, so you're encouraged to buy an e-ticket. But if you've got it sitting on an email server and you think you're just going to get it whilst you're waiting to get in, you won't be able to do that. The museum is downstairs as well. Reception is a nightmare, so you can't get it through data. The cash machines weren't working. They sort of asked you to sort of get cash from like a cash point around the corner. It's not easily accessible if you don't know London, which I didn't. So it took me a long time to try and find it. It seemed like I was in a lot of back streets before we turned up at this museum. Internally, it's very much chronologically based, and it's geared almost entirely around political cartoons. So calling it the Cartoon Museum, it's kind of it doesn't describe it accurately enough, I think. Because I mean, their core mission, I'm reading from their website right now, they will collect, conserve and provide access to Britain's cartoon, caricature, animation and comic art heritage. Well, yeah, they do, but like there was no animation artwork there. There was no, you got lots of cartoon and caricature, but there's no comic art there. Well, no, sorry, I tell a lie. There was one handicap I saw, so okay, maybe you got that. You've got pieces of artwork that have numbers on. Okay, some of the numbers have frames on. Some numbers have frames on. Some of the frames have numbers on them. The numbers don't add to anything. Some of the frames, not all the frames have plaques associated with them, so it's very difficult to work out what you're looking at. And not all of them have any kind of any information about them all. So you're just seeing a comic, and you're just seeing a cartoon. It could be anything. One thing that blew my mind was there was a piece of artwork. There was a lenticular cartoon of Tony Blair, and they stuck it right behind the pillar, so you couldn't see it. And the whole point of a lenticular artwork is you move around it. So as you move side to side, the image changes. And the whole gimmick was spoiled because of a bloody great big pillar in front of it. And yes, this is a hill I'm prepared to die on, because it's a great gimmick. It's a great piece of it. It looks like a really good piece of artwork, but it's impossible to tell because they've just slapped it on the wall and not even taken the fact there's a massive pillar right in front of it. You've got a laughter lab attached to it, which is laid out in the most illogical way, which I don't think is going to get them the results that they think they're going to get. Let's look at this, shall we? This is the layout So the Laughter Lab, you were looking at a series of paired cartoons, and you had to click. You had to on a checkboard sort of pick off the ones you liked the best. There were 20 pairs, and this is the order that they went in. Now, call me crazy, but when I get to the top corner, when I get to look at drawing 6, that's where drawing 6 should be. Not this one. So, what's going on here? I don't know. But I was there with 2 other people, and we all made the same mistake. We looked at panel 9 before thinking it was panel 6. So, well done, Oxford University. These guys are going to skew your results terribly. All right. On the plus side, it had a nice gift shop. They had some mini zines in there. Looked like some of them were printed from a risograph. That's nice. And they were 50p. And there were some other mini comics there that didn't have a price on, so I couldn't tell you how much they were. It's that sort of thing that really disappointed. And I appreciate that, as I understand it, they've moved locations. This is their new location. But it's a bit disappointing when you go downstairs and you see Asterix cutouts, standees of Asterix and characters like this. And then you go in there and there are no characters like this. I get the feeling that this museum has a really good collection of political cartoons that it wants to leverage, and it uses them, and it makes a great exhibition. Excuse me. But calling it the Cartoon Museum, and basically it's just political cartoons, is slightly misleading. And I think they should just call themselves the Political Cartoon Museum. And just be done with it. Anyway, that's enough for now. That's enough of me waffling on. Next video is probably going to be a drawing video. I've got a comic page, jam page to do, which I haven't started yet, but I'll probably start that soon. And it's going to be fantasy, wizards and dragons and dungeons and things like this. So that should be interesting. So join me for that one. I'll see you next time. We all take care. See you later. Bye now.